We're over on the coast in the Pacific Northwest, out in these rainforests, and it's absolutely beautiful. Do you see this monstrosity here on top of Kelly's back? It's a packable camp pillow made by Luno.
Luno offered to send us this camp pillow, and since it's packable and it involves camp, we said yes.
Is it a backpacking pillow? Absolutely not. But as you can see, it's huge. We thought we'd bring it backpacking and test it out. If you're curious how we handle free product reviews, you can check out this link on our website.
You have found Explorer Trek Adventure with Kelly and Greg, where you cover everything camping from backpacking to adventure vans.
As with all of our reviews, we will tell you what we do not like, and it'll be interesting to see the difference of, like, in the van, we use it with other pillows, but tonight, this is like the real test, because backpacking is probably where you sleep the worst. You're always crooked, you're on a route.
We'll let you know who this pillow is good for and who, maybe you should pass on it. Luno also made the sleep system that we have in the van. That's for the front seats. We did a full review about that. Some mixed feelings, but we'll put a link to that video in the description if you're curious about it.
One little interesting tidbit from this trip so far is we talked to some friends and they showed us this picture. And this is from a trail camera from their property. And yes, those are 3 cougars. Not 1, not 2, but 3. And honestly, they look kind of huge. So we brought some extra bear spray for this trip, and hopefully we will not see any.
Because cougars do roam quite a bit a ways.
I think they have like a 25-mile home range.
And that picture was about 5 miles?
Less than 5 miles, I think. We brought bear spray. We're just gonna keep an eye on things, but we're still going. If you haven't spent too much time in the Pacific Northwest, this is what you're treated to. Lots of roots and gigantic stumps. Like, for reference, this is a stump and this is Kelly. We passed quite a few people picking mushrooms, and there was a young couple that just passed us. She got to explain to us how they were picking chanterelles. They're kind of like a yellowy looking mushroom. She says sometimes they kind of grow underneath like the ferns and they pop out.
During the wet seasons, there's 2 seasons, I guess, for mushroom hunting, which I didn't realize. I thought it was all just early springtime, but nope, it's the wet season.
I think this might be the reason why they like to pick mushrooms in this area. As you can see, like, all of these trees produce all this shade. Like this, sure. I don't even think this place gets sun ever.
And they said they really grow well where the ferns grow. This is gonna be a short little hike, but it's right down to a lake. So hopefully we'll have a nice, beautiful view tonight. But on tap for dinner tonight, we got some chopped up veggies and sausages. But the main wonderful ingredient are these super fat noodles that we've become obsessed with. We made it to camp, but before we set up our tent, let's give you some stats on this pillow. This is the large version. This is the packable, what it looks like. It is made from little memory foam chunks, I guess you would say. And when you expand it, open it up, it actually expands to a pretty big size. The nice thing about this is that you can actually take off the cover and wash it. It has a warm side or warm weather and a cold weather side. The material, almost this darker color, feels like a t-shirt material, which is really nice. And this lighter color, it's a little bit thicker. You can definitely see the lumps of the memory foam in here, but when you're sleeping on it, you don't actually feel those lumps, so that's really nice. When you're packing it up, you just basically roll it, and it just squishes down, and you just slide it into your pack, the bag it comes with. It's actually pretty easy to compress and put in there. Kind of just slides right in there, which is very convenient. So this sack is not a compression sack, but you can easily smush it down to a very small size if you needed to. Before we packed up everything, we weighed this thing, and it comes in at a whopping 2 pounds, 9 ounces. So definitely not a backpacking pillow. Car camping? Sure. Backpacking? Not so much. The regular size probably weighs less, but still would probably not be a backpacking pillow. Maybe a very big luxury item, but no. There are much better backpacking pillow options. So let's show you exactly what's inside this thing. It has a nice hidden zipper, so you're not gonna be filling this. And then inside of this has another liner. And then if you open that up, you can unzip that. And this is the memory foam inside of it. So it's like, as you can see, it just goes right back into itself. Pops back out, you squeeze it down, pop it out. So if you're wanting to take some of this out, you could, but don't know if I would do that. This large version is 24 inches, which is nearly the size of my backpack. The regular size is about 16 inches long. Let's get the camp set up and cook some dinner before it gets too dark. Let me show you what my sleep system is for tonight. In here we have our Nemo tensor. It's the wide one. I have my Nemo, let's see, what is this? Forte 20. Of course, my pillow, which actually almost takes up the whole width of the sleep pad. The sleep pad itself is 25 inches, and if this is 24, of course I have my Kindle for my nighttime. But then I also have this liners, because I'm not sure how cold it's gonna get, and since I sleep really cold, I wanna keep it with me too. And of course my jacket, when I'm not sleeping, I normally shove this down into the bottom of my sleeping bag, so it keeps my toes a little bit warmer.
It's gonna be 50 degrees. She got a 20-degree bag and a 15+ liner. She's gonna be fine. And I have I think this is my 30-degree quilt. That's it. Hot. We made it into the tent for the evening, but look at this setup.
The pillow actually fits right into the hood of the sleeping bag, which is nice because it poofs it up a little bit more. Loving it so far.
Yeah, look at that. Your face is all squished in there.
Yeah.
Look at me. I'm on my own jacket. This is the poor man's pillow. Might have to steal that pillow in the middle of the night.
It's just like,
All right, we'll report in the morning. So we ended up getting woken up this morning by a massive amount of crashing in the woods. And we thought for sure that somebody or something was trying to steal our food bag. So I got up, got the bear spray, and I went outside, and it was literally crashing all around us. It sounded like there was animals just plowing through the bushes. Whenever I got the food bag, totally fine. While I'm getting the food bag, there's stuff falling from the trees. Okay, mystery solved. Pine cones falling from these trees. I just don't know why. Sounds like we're under attack. Like it almost looked like some kids were throwing stuff just constantly, but it was everywhere around us. And up in the trees, I finally saw one pine cone just falling, crashing straight down. And at the very tops of these trees, there was either squirrels or birds up there chopping them down and making them fall. It had to have been a coordinated squirrel thing.
how did this pillow perform last night? Well, I had my sleep pad, my sleeping bag. Luckily, my sleeping bag had a built-in hood with it, so I was able to keep the pillow into place. Whether I was on my back or on my side, it cushioned my head. It was actually an overall really good experience with this pillow. Before I give you my final thoughts on the pillow, let me show you how it does in the van. When we were backpacking, this worked great in my sleeping bag because the hood kept it in place. Whereas in the van, I find that I need to have another pillow underneath it because it squishes down so much. And I feel like I need that extra support. Because if I didn't have that pillow, I would go right all the way down. Yes, I could probably fold it in half, but then that doesn't give me that much of a surface to lay on. I find having this on top of another pillow is just kind of like the icing on a cupcake. It's just like an extra bonus to just mold your head nicely. So who is this pillow good for? Not only is it good for camping, car camping, van life, RVs, tent camping, but I think it might actually be good for travelers. That way you can bring your own pillows. You don't have to worry about sleeping on some pillow that hopefully they've washed and cleaned, but you can compress it down, so hopefully you would be able to fit it into your suitcase. How do we rate this? Comfort, very high. I'd say almost 10. I mean, it is super comfy. I just love how it cushions your head. It kind of molds to your head. Packability, super easy to pack up. Roll it, fits right into the stuff sack. Overall, I actually think this is a really great camp pillow.
Overall assessment for me, I actually give it pretty much the same marks as Kelly. Comfort, super, super high. Packability, super good, although I think they missed the mark with this stuff sack. I think this should have been a compression sack because it just gets so much smaller And if this is going to be your travel pillow, say you're throwing this in your suitcase or throwing this in your backpack, it could get like at least half of the size. Although it makes a terrible backpacking pillow just because it's so heavy. Maybe they'll come out with a little micro version in the future.
We're going to finish packing up. Go watch this video next. You can find us at exploretrekadventure.com, and we'll see you next time.